All right. We're back. I think my mic is on. It is. I just turned up my levels.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show, Wesam's World. Real quick before we start, so many of you have subscribed to us on our YouTube channel, on our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, and have written some awesome reviews on iTunes. And I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who is doing that and for your support. It really means a lot to us. It keeps us going here. What a great, gloomy Los Angeles morning. I love it.
Except people can't drive.
That's true. That's true. But you know what? I love it. Little sprinkles. I was having my tea on my little patio. It was beautiful. A little hummingbird came by. I feel like today's going to be a good day.
Woo.
Woo! Remember, if you have an Alexa, all you got to do is go, hey, Alexa, play Adobe Radio, and then boom, Adobe Radio is playing for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited to talk with this young man today. I've known him for literally all his life. It's my younger brother, William Keesh, and he is, you can actually listen to it right now. His debut single is out, Nobody Knows. You can find it on all YouTube, Spotify, that whole shindig. It's basically Keesh Music on Instagram, and we're going to play a little bit of it on the show. I'm so proud of him. He's been in LA for 3 years, and he's been producing music already full-time, and this is his debut single with some more songs coming out in the coming months, and I'm really excited to talk to him about music, about his process, about life, and how it's been living out here, pursuing his dream, the ups and downs, and I'm very proud of him. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for my own brother, William Keesh. What's up?
What's up?
Have a seat. It started. You want headphones?
No headphones.
No headphones? Okay. I dig it. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me.
You have such a busy schedule. I really appreciate you coming in.
Actually, this week has been pretty busy.
I know,
It's
that's
been
what I
fun.
mean.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Dude, by the time this airs, your song's out.
Yeah, really exciting.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel good.
Yeah.
It's been something I've been working on for a while now, and to finally feel confident in my abilities as a musician, producer, a writer, to feel like I've got something to give to the world and share.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, because you've been out here now for a little over 3 years.
A little over 3 years, yeah.
Debut single, but you've been producing music basically since around you got here, right?
Yeah, I started really diving into the production side of things a little over a year and a half ago, but I've always been writing music with different artists, and in college playing shows, but yeah, it's been really good learning process for me.
Yeah, especially the technical side of things, I've noticed. Because for those of you who don't know, me and William, we live together. And over the past, I'm going to say, especially over the past year, you've really buckled down on learning the technical aspects of music production.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's impossible to learn all of it.
It's impossible to learn all of it?
It's like a black hole of just gear and software and man. And the best part about it too is whenever you work with a different artist or a different producer, they show you their like little tricks and tips and whatever, and you show them your little tricks and tips and like how you go about it, and you just learn so much from collaborating with others, and I think I owe a lot of my learning to that, like learning from my friends who are also producers.
Right.
Yeah.
So common thing that I've noticed with all music production software, so many buttons.
It can look a lot at first, for sure.
Are you kidding me?
It almost looks ridiculous if you don't know what you're looking at. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking at. I look at this thing, because if you think about it, for those of you who don't know, when you open like GarageBand, that's like the simplest of simplest music production stuff. And you can click and drag and drop stuff and make little, oh, look at that. I made a little beat with some drums and a little bit of guitar. That's cool. But when you start getting really into it, the manipulation of sound has infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
So you've got buttons that make it go like that boom. Like that sound could go like boom,
Yeah.
right? Or boom, or
Yeah.
make the tones higher, lower. You can add little distortion to it. You can make it sound like it's in an echo. You have all these possibilities. For you as an artist, does it get overwhelming that you basically have like too many options?
If you look at it like that, then yeah, it can be.
So how do you look at it?
Take it one step at a time.
Okay.
Because there's so many things to learn on it. Like let's say with drum sounds, you've got kick, snare, hi-hat, crash, a bunch of little percussive elements that you can mess with too.
Yeah.
And each of those things have their own way of working best for whatever style you're doing. Like for a kick, kick sample, if you want a live drum, or if you want an 808 sample, if you want, drum machine, each of those have their own way of sounding the best, or classically what they're supposed to sound like.
Right.
And then you can put your own twist on it. Like I want more high end on this, or I want more this. And so you break it down. Same thing for guitar. You can have all these different dirty tones, and then you can have all these different clean tones. The tricky part about it all is learning how to mix while I'm producing, because the mixing is the part of balancing everything and volumes and kind of automating, different effects and whatnot.
Right.
So trying to find that balance between the different frequencies can be a little bit, I think, one of the toughest things.
So that's like the mixing part, because I want to get to
Yeah.
mixing here with you in a little bit.
For sure.
But I'm always amazed, like with writers, for instance, because Michael's a writer. You basically have an idea, and you have to write the skeletal structure for it, and let it grow from there, and manifest it from your creative mind to the paper. Same thing with musicians. I feel like very similar to writers. They're manifesting from almost nothing, just one creative idea. For me as an actor, I have a skeletal structure right there. Same, Peyton, you act as well. We have that skeletal structure right there. So I'm like, great, I can add the meat here. I can add these little things over here. I can do this. I
Right.
can do that. I can be creative in that sense. That structure helps me to grow. So whenever I try to do something where there is no structure, I'm always just like, well, I could do anything. I don't know what to do. It's kind of like
Yeah.
city building games. Remember those city building games we
Yeah,
used to have?
Tycoon and all that stuff, yeah.
I like the ones that actually have obstacles
Yeah.
to build around.
Because it's a little bit of a map for you.
Absolutely, because if it's just this green
Flat land.
I'm
Yeah.
like, well, okay, I guess I'll just put it there. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
So my question to you
yeah,
is, where do you grow from whenever you have, like, okay, I want to make a song, or is it an idea that you come, that manifests from that?
Sometimes you don't know, and sometimes a lot of like music writing, you kind of have to just start working on, just start moving your hands and start playing something. Or like for me, I like to start a lot with guitar, because guitar was my first real instrument that I started learning. And so I could build a whole song over just a melody that
Right.
I'll write. But it's at the end of it, it comes down to making strong choices. And I think we've talked about this before. This is a really good example, actually. A couple weeks back, I was having a little session with one of my producer friends, and we did this thing, like it was like a 10-minute beat thing.
Right.
Where we set the timer for 10 minutes, or 15. We did it 15 minutes because it was a little bit too quick for us. We're not that great, but we did 15 minutes.
Sorry, I'm listening.
No,
Yeah,
you're
keep
good.
going. I'm gonna.
And we both go on our laptops, and we just made a beat in 15 minutes. And it kind of got like the core idea,
Yeah.
right? And then we showed each other, and we're like, oh, this is dope. I like what you did with this. I like what you did with this. Then the next round, we were like, okay, let's make this be something we want to pitch to this artist, right? So like, so we have a style we're going for,
Right.
right? So that way, when we get our headphones on, we go on our DAW, we can think, okay, this works. This definitely doesn't work. So it helps you make strong choices, having a goal in mind. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So you have now married the business side of it, I
Yes.
feel like, with this part, because that is something that a lot of artists hope and aim to do with their creative craft. Make money off of it. Yeah, I'm not sorry about it. Like whenever I want to act because I want to make. I love acting. Don't get me wrong, but also I want to make bank.
Of course.
You know, I like financial freedom allows me to be even more creative, and allows me more opportunities to do what I want to do with my life. That's not only non-acting related. That's not just acting related, but also non-acting related. So that's very clever in utilizing that
Yeah.
to branch off. Like, okay, maybe I'm not a pop. Let's just use this thing. I'm not a pop artist, but man, I can write pop songs so good. Does that make sense? Or I'm not a jingle kind of guy, but I can make you a quick jingle for your commercial and get paid bank that way.
Yes.
That's also like, I feel like that's good for you to do as a creative and as an artist, to branch out and maybe do things like, I don't really like doing this, but for some reason I'm good at it, or it actually helps me in another way, and or it pays the bills.
It's good to have that range, especially as a producer, because you're pulling from so many things already as
Right.
it is, from so many different genres. And so having that range will only help you. And I think it's our job as artists and creatives to keep changing and evolving, not just stay so focused in on one genre, one thing. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
good to make a strong choice. But you have to keep, I don't know, like I listen to all types of different music. And I know some people that don't listen to all types of music, and that's fine too. But I think it's good. It's going to be easier to pull from all these different types of music.
100%. I just had an epiphany. Epiphany?
Epiphany.
Epiphany. Thank you guys. This is why you're here.
Of course.
So I'll just be saying nonsense on the radio show for an hour. People are like, is he having a stroke? What is he? I grew up with my acting craft doing a lot of Shakespeare. And with Shakespeare, 90% of the work is done for you.
What do you mean? As in like...
The way it's written in a way that there is iambic pentameter. Do you know what that is?
No.
There is a rhythm to the way you're supposed to say the words. And at first glance, when I heard about this, when I was really a young actor, I was actually working working on a Shakespeare show with David Lewis, who was my old roommate. He was like my only friend I knew out here, who became my roommate and everything. He had a bigger part in the Shakespeare show. I was some middle school kid who was just tagging along with the Shakespeare in the Park crew, and he would tell me like, yeah, there's iambic pentameter. There's like a rhythm you have to say the words in. And I'm like, come on, why would you confine yourself to those standards? You know what I mean? Or like, why do I have to read it like this? But when you start understanding why it's written in that way, and that certain things, like, for the most part, it's the same way, kind of, and then there are ways that the rules get broken up, you realize, oh, whoa, this is written as a masterpiece. Oh my gosh. Okay, now how can I, as the actor, be creative within these confines? And then you start going, oh, I could do it this way, or I could do it this way. The coolest thing is watching a Shakespeare show one company does,
Oh, yeah.
and how different it is from another one, and how different it is from another one, but they're still the same show.
Yeah.
It's such a paradox to think about. So when I think of music, when I'm learning music, I need, show me which keys to hit exactly. I need that parameters. So what happens is you start learning common patterns. Like, oh, I learned 20 songs, and then I'm just starting to play this other thing. I'm like, oh wow, if I just move my fingers this way, it becomes this one. Move my finger that way, it becomes that one. And you start noticing the hacks.
The hacks, yeah.
The hacks of creativity, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that stuff gets me excited. Same thing with acting. Now it's become a thing where we read a scene, me and Isaiah, we're working on our Sunday class or whatever. Boom, boom, we read it through. Like, okay, I know what they're going for immediately. I know what type of show this is. I know what type of character this is. This is in my wheelhouse. Boom.
Yeah.
He's gotten callbacks I think especially the last one, where we read through it once and we're like, let's just shoot it. Cool. We did it. Boom. And we're like, do we need to do it again? And he's like, I think I got it. I was like, I think you got it too, man. Boom. He gets a callback for it.
Wow, that's great. I seen you guys finish them pretty quick like that, and I almost wonder. I'm like, you guys are like really confident in your abilities now to just do it in one take and just do it, and that's okay. That's what it's gonna be, and that's how it'll be.
It's the hacks. Yeah.
It's
So
the
are
hacks.
are you finding hacks like that in your creative process?
For sure. And that can be all traced all the way back to when I was learning guitar. You know what I mean? Because when I was learning guitar, I was jamming with my friends who were better than me at guitar.
Right.
So I would learn their hacks. You know what I mean? That's why I love collaborating with other people. It's almost cheating in a way because you get to learn quicker than just doing the same thing over and over again, which is a good way to learn for sure. But collaborating with others is such a fun thing because you never know what's going to come out of it.
Excuse me. Watching and soaking up what you're seeing or listening to, I think is very helpful as a young actor, intermediate actor, an advanced actor as well, or artist, I should say, all across the board. And the way you soak up things becomes different as time goes on. Because even just hanging out with you and you telling me all like your creative process, all the technical aspects. Now when I listen to a song, for instance, the latest Tool album, I'm like, whoa, this is mixed beautifully, first of all. And then each individual instrument I can hear it now and appreciate it for what it is. It annoys me so much now when I hear something that's not mixed well. It just becomes a muddy mess of noise. And I'm like, I'm losing the bass in this.
It's almost like when you're watching a show, you're like, you kind of take yourself out of it. You see the set that they're on, and you can visualize that.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm listening to something, I'm like, oh man, that high end needs to be fixed, or the low end is a little muddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure, I'll notice that as well.
I want to ask Peyton and Michael this too. Peyton, do you notice that with certain like acting projects or like scripts? Is it sometimes it's like really muddy?
Yeah, but I'm still very. Look.
The microphone.
Oh,
It's okay, man.
forget every time.
I know.
This is still also very new to me. All this acting stuff out here, not acting in general, but working on these projects out here.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to tell right now when something is like muddy or not. If you get what I'm saying.
That's fine, and that's okay to be
Yeah.
in that place. I think it just takes time with practice and reading script after script after script.
Because I've only read so many scripts right now, and like I'll read something, I'll be like, this might be good. I can't really tell if this is a good script or not, but hey, it's work.
That's for sure. Michael, do you notice that? Because you've been writing a lot recently, especially within the last, I would say, year, correct?
2 years, yeah, since
2
I
years.
got fired.
Yeah.
But I've also been, since being at ICM, I've been reading a lot of scripts too, and like seeing the ones that are actually getting made. And also I've been reading scripts from some writers off of Twitter as well for this like pre-WGA thing. It's people that aren't in the WGA that are just trading scripts. So I've been able to really hone in on like what works, what doesn't work, what's structurally correct. For example, this one script that I read this past week, it's essentially two different scripts, two different stories that if told, she could have split it in half and it could have been two movies. But it wouldn't have been two, like, this is the first movie, this is the second movie. It would have been the same story but told differently.
Gotcha.
And I think that there was one story that was far superior that she didn't hone in on. She didn't want feedback or whatever, so I was like, okay, whatever.
Right. But you're distinguishing very clearly now, like, oh, I've read this similar structure before on another script that maybe didn't work because of character development for whatever reason, but now this one, I really care about the characters and it has the same skeletal structure. You're like, oh, whoa, that's cool how this can work here, this can't work there.
Like there's this other one that I read, it's a fun one. It's a romantic comedy. And the story is hilarious, but there's a few moments where the dialogue is like, oh, well, don't, that's my grandma's ring. Oh, I won't lose it. I'll protect it with my life.
And then they lose it.
Of course.
Yeah, see, and then it becomes like a tell, like where the story is going. I think with some songs, I feel that. Like I know where the song is going.
Yeah.
and I hate that.
Yeah.
I want to be surprised nowadays.
Do you think that that's like a more like with generic type genres, like
Anything.
pop songs or anything you can see that in?
I think laziness is not genre specific, and when I mean that in a
Yeah.
because I shouldn't say laziness. Maybe it's their choice to do it like that. Maybe it's their artistic choice, and maybe it sounds great. I've told you that we'll play actually. Let's actually. I think I emailed you his song. See if we could pull it up. It's on a Dropbox link.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. We'll be able to play it on air because I want to talk about it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I kind of want to play it and talk just a little bit over it while it's playing, and then people can check it out on their own and really immerse themselves in it. I like to be surprised with music nowadays. Why? Because there's so much of it.
Yeah.
We're flooded with it. It's saturated.
It's very saturated.
I go on my Spotify Discover list and I'm like, nope. Okay, generic intro. I'm like, come on, like let's spice this up. Let's do something different. That's why I like your music and the stuff you work on, because there is that common theme, that common element to it, but it has those surprises in there. It was like, ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Your new one that's gonna come out hopefully at the end of October.
Yeah. I like that one a lot too.
Dude, that bass line is sick.
Thank you.
It's so dirty, and I love that. And you play all the instruments, correct?
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of sampling too.
Cool.
But yeah, that's kind of the goal with this too. I was really inspired by Kevin Parker, Tame Impala guy. When I listened to Currents, that album that he put out a couple years ago, I listened to it and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. This is very moving. This is one of my favorite. This is top 3 favorite albums easily.
Yeah.
And then only later did I find out that the guy wrote, produced, recorded, and mixed the whole album by himself. And I think he had someone help him with the mastering of it. And I was like truly inspired by that, because if he can do that and it was that moving to me, then I can definitely do that too. So that's what I'm going to work towards. Because I love being a part of something bigger than myself. When I was first starting guitar, I just wanted to be in a band. Rock band, just tour. Oh. And that'd be awesome, but it's really hard to find that right group, and for those bands that have found the right group, I think they're really lucky, because there's so many variables that go into it: the chemistry within the group, the friendship within the group, the music that you're playing together, and the business side of things. Apart from all that creativity stuff, you need the business side of things to go well too. And so, I just never really kind of found my right lane within a band, if that makes sense, to make it to where it would be a viable thing to make big. And so that's another one of the really driving factors that made me want to learn all this stuff for myself.
Right.
It's that creative freedom that you get with that as well.
Absolutely.
You really are able to put what's inside your head onto the computer, make it come through the speakers, and just kind of explain yourself that way. It's a fun thing. It's really fun. Once you get efficient enough to where you can bang out an idea in a couple minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, it's so fun. It really is fun, and you can get lost in that space.
Yeah. I've seen you working a lot, especially in the beginning of your process. I noticed it was really difficult trying to learn, because you learn the technical aspects of the recording, or man, I just want it to sound like this, but I don't know how to make it sound like that.
Yeah.
I have it in here, but I can't. So I have to learn that, and that takes time.
It does.
And repetition over and over.
And research.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's crazy how much information is on the internet.
Yeah.
YouTube alone has taught me so much. If you can find friends that are doing the same thing that you're doing, though, it's really, really important, I think, because it keeps you, focused on your thing, because you see them doing their thing. And then when you come together and talk about it, it's this emergence of ideas, like I said, and you just learn from each other.
Absolutely. Also, finding friends who want to work as hard as you do to make something, I feel like that's important too.
Yeah, I'm all about the grind. You're all about the grind. We're all about the grind. Finding those with the same kind of mindset can be hard sometimes, but that's really important.
Absolutely, man. How much time we got left?
We got about 4 minutes.
4 minutes? Okay.
I got it, by the way.
Cool. Let's take a quick break, and then actually no, let's play the song. Can we play it?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll play it. I love how it gets clearer.
Thank you.
It's like this is the start. You know what I mean? Like it pumps you up a little bit. Anything that reminds me of Tokyo is always a hit.
Taking our time at the art shows. Love is making me just a little slow. I wanna let her know right before she goes that all the other girls don't come close. I was just another maybe runner-up. Didn't even bother me, I kept it up. We both stayed warm in the summer sun. I'm sorry for the way I treated you. I never meant to rob you of the truth. I tried to break the walls I built for you.
Dude, I like it. I'm not talking too much over it just because I like listening to it.
Walking on the beach, yeah, we love the coast. Let's have a good time at the bungalow. Always been in love, but nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Shame that I kept you on the side. Could've done better saying goodbye.
M83 vibe.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
That's all about making something you like too.
Exactly. You can feel that in the song.
Nobody knows. I'm sorry for the way I treated you. I never meant to rob you of the truth. I tried to break the walls I built for you. I'm sorry for the way we fell into. I'm sorry for the way
That part.
I never meant to rob you of the truth. Tried to break the walls I built for you. I'm sorry for the way we fell into.
Because I see the story.
That's what this one is more about.
You know
it's
what I
more
mean?
storytelling kind of a song. The story.
I'm sorry for the way I treated you. I never meant to rob you of the truth. Tried to break the walls I built.
This is the part I'm talking about. Dude, I love the way that ends because it's not like your typical ending. You're on the ride for it, and then boom, you get taken out. We again, if you're listening to this, you can check it out. Keesh Music, Keesh on Spotify, everything. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with William to talk more about acting. Acting? No, music. Wesam. Come on, pull it together. All right, we'll be back. Hey everybody, William went to the bathroom real quick, and believe it or not, Richard Bin Laden was
Strolled
walking.
in.
Yeah, he was.
I
hanging
just
out.
want to say hi to
Okay,
my
go-
friend Michael. He
okay.
likes my jokes. I'm gonna tell him a joke.
Okay,
I
Richard.
love Richard.
I'm glad. Go ahead, Richard.
Hey, Michael, man, do you know these Medea films?
The Medea films, yeah.
They are so uncomfortable, man. Medea goes to Halloween. Medea goes to Christmas. chlamydia.
What? Wait, what's the joke there? Wait, what?
Medea is in chlamydia.
That's not funny,
It
Michael.
makes no sense.
What, Mike? Dude,
You are welcome.
get out of here.
Goodbye.
Oh, man. William, thanks for coming in, man. You just
thank you.
You just missed Richard Bin Laden.
Yeah, he told me he had a bad joke.
Yeah, it was horrible. Mr. Michael,
Yep.
what do we got for...
Well, actually, first off, I wanted to go back and actually let's do the current events first.
Okay. What's...
Last week, remember when you guys had your Emmy picks?
Yeah.
We needed to do an update.
Oh, yeah, what happened?
You did terribly.
Okay. Well, first of all, the way you said that, I don't like. Okay? So...
He's a straight shooter. He's telling you how it is.
Yeah, but no. That was like, you did terribly. You piece of shit. Yeah, I don't care.
Well,
I don't know what to tell you, man.
What was the pick?
Well, she probably did a lot better than me.
she did way better.
Yeah.
But first off, Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker movie are having a lot of issues right now just because of the subject matter of kind of elevating this character. And
What?
it's
Sorry.
just kind of, there's like U.S. military issues warning the troops about incel violence and all that. And like, yeah, they canceled
What?
the red carpet interviews for the premiere.
Oh, come on.
Warner Brothers canceled, but
It's that bad?
I'm so mad.
What is
First
the
of all,
reason? Sorry?
because they think it's going to incite violence because of the subject matter of the Joker. I believe in the film it shows other people dressing like the Joker, causing mayhem, riots, violence, chaos, death, murder, that kind of stuff. So they're afraid something like the Aurora shooting at the
I think
theater is
that
going to happen
theater
again.
it decided not to show the film too.
yeah,
You-
it didn't.
You know, I'm pulled two different ways from this. You know what I mean? Because then what are we going to do? Stop making films that involve murder or mayhem? Or because that's not right. But
No.
also, we can't have people's lives endangered by assholes and idiots, you know, and evil people, right? So I don't know where the line is.
Well, this
here.
falls under like video games
It does, yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Like,
But to be fair, Todd Phillips hasn't exactly like dealt with it very well, either.
But what's he gonna do? Like, what do you think would have been better for him to do?
I just think he could have taken it a little bit more tactfully. Like he's blaming the left, the far left.
Right.
If I-
Giving a simple answer
I
to
don't-
a complicated issue.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a bummer because you know there's other people. There's a whole. It's not just Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips who worked on the film. You got crew members. You got other actors. You got the editors, the crew members. They all worked on this. And then for the red carpet, that's actually a big deal for people who have worked a long time on a film. It's not just like a
Absolutely.
TV show. So red carpet is the time where you and your friends get together. It's like, oh, awesome, we can finally see this that we spent so much time and work into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you worked on a song for over a year, and they're like, hey, we're just gonna do a short, like a soft open for it. It's like, wait, what?
Right.
What do you mean a soft open? No, we're gonna. Why?
You want to celebrate
Because
it a little.
because
yeah.
your song deals with a lot of sensitive subject matter, and then crazy people might do crazy things. It's like, again, I get pulled two different ways from that. I don't know, guys. This is a really weird time we're living in. Really weird time.
You could look at it from both sides for sure, as them getting
Yeah.
blamed for something that they're not responsible for, or them trying to protect people from something that might happen. But I don't know. I can see how you're torn because I'm torn as well.
Yeah. What else we got?
Frankie Muniz is hot for Lizzo.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's the weirdest transition to current events, but let's go back up real quick.
Is he doing work?
I don't know.
Can you scroll up? This is the horniest anyone has ever been.
I can say that is truly false. I can vouch that is a lie.
Let's scroll down. What did he do? He tweeted, "Hey Lizzo, let me be your accessory. I can be a purse. Put a chain around me, and I'll hold your stuff for you. Just saying. Oh, okay. Well, he shot a
Forward.
shot.
Yeah.
Accessory. Oh,
Oh.
wow. She shot him down so meanly.
That's a hilarious photo. Because it's like Frankie Muniz when he was a child star.
Dude,
and
this-
not. That's
This is the perfect segue to the video you just sent me.
oh my god.
So, dude, okay, guys, what is going on? William sent me a cringe video of some guy. He goes up. This woman opens the door. There's a guy. He has like $1,000 in his hand. He's like, "Hello, goddess."
Never looks up.
Never looks up. Gives her the money, and she's like, "Good, you may kiss my shoe now." And he kisses her shoe, and she slams the door in his face. This is a fetish, by the way.
She's taking the video. Like she opens the door,
Yeah.
right? And he's like on his knees and just looking down with the money like held out. And you know,
Like I said before, the only way I'm calling a woman goddess is if she's floating in front of me. And I'm like, oh, it's a goddess.
that's a goddess.
That's a goddess.
Is that God or is
You know, guys go broke doing that for their fetish.
Yeah,
They
it
just
was-
give
it
away
was-
all
it
their
was
money.
in- it
They
was in
get
the
turned
show.
on by that.
It was in the show. For you're the worst. The woman's husband is a doctor, and she keeps sending this woman money, and it's hilarious.
Weird.
Hey.
Weird. Peyton is so uncomfortable
To
right
each
now,
his
and I
own.
love it. Peyton looks so.
I just can't imagine going broke
I know.
over stupid stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, Michael?
Endeavor had to delay its initial public offering because it came in lower than they wanted it to be, and
Interesting.
they pulled it completely. Actually,
Wow. Yeah. I don't know much about that stuff, but so
Same.
well, it goes back to the whole writers thing and Endeavor content trying to be more than just an agency, and so they were trying to go to Wall Street and get capital that way, and they wanted, I think it was $32 for share, and it came in at like 26, which wasn't great. Way less than they were expecting.
yeah.
So
I'm always thinking too, like with these big agencies, are they just going to start streaming have their own streaming service after a certain
Like
amount
Disney?
of time?
maybe that's the problem, isn't it?
And then it's like, well, now like there's streaming services within streaming services. I don't know anymore. Anyway,
Also, I finally tallied it up. You got one right, and Carolina got 3 out of 1, 2,
cool. We'll cut this part out.
6.
Peyton. We'll cut this part out.
Out of 6.
What is this? I'm lost.
On last week's show, we did Emmy predictions because it was the day before the Emmys,
yeah.
and we could have seen one way or the other who
sure.
was right and wrong.
It was an interesting Emmy show I heard where there was no host and it was kind of all over the place.
The Oscars were better with no host. This one was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Tom Lennon did color commentary from the rafters, and it was just really weird and not funny at all.
They should just bring in Ricky Gervais every year. Just have him roast everybody.
job, yeah.
Well, that was the Golden Globes, and the Golden Globes are kind of a joke.
yeah.
Yeah, but still, I think he should those things, because we're already getting awards. I would love to be roasted while I'm getting the award, because that's a good balance.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna give me a big shiny gold statue,
Make fun of me.
Make fun of me first, or otherwise, it's a little much.
I agree.
I think it's funner that way, because then people watching don't feel too bad about themselves, or I shouldn't say that, but no, yeah. So it's it makes sense. It just seems better. There's a nice balance to it.
I'm all about making it a little more casual too.
Yeah.
I feel like that,
Yeah.
loosens the room up a bit.
If I ever win something like that, I would want it to be as quick and casual as
They
possible.
throw it at you from the stage.
Thank you.
You're not allowed up
I'll give
here.
my full thanks at the press thing, at a press little.
The other funny thing was David Benioff, one of the creators or one of the showrunners for Game of Thrones. They basically admitted they were like, oh yeah, thanks for George R.R. Martin for giving a shot at 2 producers who've never done this before. And then when they were thanking their family, he ends up going, oh, I want to thank my wife, Amanda Peet.
I don't get it.
Amanda Peet is an actress, and he normally a normal person would say, oh, I just want to thank my wife, Amanda or whatever.
Yeah.
He did her full name.
Oh.
because she's like an actress.
Oh, okay.
Kind of plugged her.
A little bit.
I see what you're saying. Oh, okay.
It's kind of weird.
I can see it either way. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Yeah. I don't know, man. This business is just getting weirder by the day. Something I wanted to talk to you about, actually. The new Tool album.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh,
You've been a big
my
Tool fan
gosh.
since I think their debut album was the year I was born, 1993.
No, actually. My favorite, I got introduced to Tool, Enema.
Oh, their second album,
Third,
album. Okay,
I believe. Yeah.
they're a good band. They created I feel like with this long hiatus, they created like a vacuum, and just perfectly kind of filled it with this. Even though I felt like obviously it's been a long time, but they had top rock album by a long shot, and I feel like their numbers were just going up, and they just put their stuff on Spotify. They didn't have it on there too for the longest time.
Right. Because in the beginning of the month, they put out their entire anthology, I guess, on all the streaming services, which was cool.
Right.
And then they announced their new album, and then it made the Billboard Top 100. Literally, all their songs made the Billboard, even the songs that are like intros into the next song.
Wow.
Because if you know anything about Tool, some of their songs are just like buzzing.
Very interlude-y type.
Very
For sure.
interludes. Very interlude, excuse me. Taylor Swift fans were very worked up about it.
Why?
Do you know this?
No.
They were upset why this. They're like, who is this band Tool, and why did they overtake Taylor in the top 100? So they kept.
Why are they mad?
Exactly, and so Tool just surpassed her, and they were upset, and a lot of people were like, "Who's this new band Tool?" Because they hadn't made music in such a long time.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting. Somebody made a really good comment, like, "Hey, you shouldn't really bash this band because, believe it or not, she's probably been influenced by their music one way or another."
Of course. I feel like all music is interconnected. And I was talking to my friend yesterday about this, about how I didn't get into hip hop until I was like 19 or 20. Hip hop and rap and that kind of side of music. I was more into the metal, rock, blues, stuff that you showed me when I was growing up. But I realized whenever I started listening to certain artists, like I feel like Kendrick was one of those artists, J. Cole was one of those artists, and even Travis Scott has got like super punk metal energy. Like if you ever see one of those shows, people are moshing at those shows.
Yeah.
It's the same energy that's associated with metal music, just presented in a different form. And like and I understood it after that. So yeah, you can really connect and bridge a lot of genres and a lot of artists, but the fact that people are mad that this band is doing better than this band,
It's weird.
it shouldn't be competition in that sense. Like there is competition obviously in the industry, but I feel like with artists you should be just wanting the best art.
Right.
It's not about you, it's about the product, the art, what it's making other people feel.
It's not about you. It's about the product. It's about what it makes other people feel. I like that.
Yeah. So don't get mad at a band for doing good.
Right. Right. You know what show exemplifies that in the best sense? British Baking Show. Because they are so friendly with each other, first of all.
They are, yeah.
And the judges are so friendly.
The judges are really friendly and even sometimes helpful.
Very. And like, let's say somebody finishes baking first and they're noticing somebody having trouble. They're like, what can I do to help you? And it's like,
It's a
whoa.
competition, yeah.
Absolutely. That would never happen on an American TV show. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? No. And when they get like kicked off or whatever, it's everybody comes in, supports them and says, you did great. It was such a good, like, it's such a loving atmosphere. And they're really only in competition with themselves. They're not really competing against one another.
No, they're competing against themselves, exactly. And sports is different. Sports is fun, but it's not necessarily the same because there's a team you need to beat or another side to it. With art, there's only one side. It's your side, and you're trying to make it the best it can be. It's you versus you.
Right. That's actually a kind of a philosophical thing with sports because you're still you're still have to battle yourself
True.
Whenever
Very true.
you play
yeah.
sports. And what I mean by that is you have to keep training. You have to be on top of things. You have to like, okay, I have to study the other team. What are they doing? What flaws do I have? What do I need to work on? What are my strengths? What new tactics can I use? What can I do this? Okay, I'm presented with this scenario.
Yes.
This fighter, whoever. Okay, what can I do to like overcome this? And sometimes you don't have an answer. Maybe you've done everything right and things still don't go great. So then, okay, go back to the drawing board. Okay, well, I've never experienced this problem. How do I avoid it in the future?
Yeah. You learn.
I still think it's a battle within yourself.
This is kind of a plug for another project that I'm working on.
Oh.
But the music should be released soon, and it's actually
Yes.
really cool stuff. The band, it's a collective more so than a band, and it's a collective of different artists, different friends, and different writers, and it's called 1v1. And the idea behind it is that it's you versus yourself. And it's some of it's kind of sporty, some of it's kind of hip hop, some of it's kind of rock and roll, but it's really good stuff. And worked with a lot of talented people: Riley Taylor, Sam Westhoff, Puff Scarborough. There's a lot of cool guys that work on it and really talented. And yeah, I love the idea behind it because it's being a part of something bigger than yourself, and also the idea behind it of it's almost like are you familiar with Brockhampton?
Brockhampton. That is actually, I think that's the rapist name?
No.
That Brockhampton? No, I'm being serious. There's like a famous...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, this is a rap group.
Oh.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah, everything that comes up is Brockhampton, the rap group.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of another...
Maybe-
Brock Turner. That's
Brock
who I'm
Turner,
thinking.
that's it, yeah.
Okay, not Brockhampton. It was... It's this very...
Brock Turner just vacations in the Hamptons.
That's probably... It's very...
But anyways,
Anyway, go ahead.
it's just like a rap collective, basically. And it's a big group of people, and like, obviously not everyone is on every song, you know what I mean? But it's just a collective of people who make music together, and that's kind of what we're doing with this, too. So I'm excited for that as well.
Do we have an estimated debut of any of this stuff?
The songs are done. Our first EP is done.
That's awesome.
And right now it's just kind of being pitched around, so...
Dude, you're living the dream. And when I say that doesn't mean your life is easy, but you are making money. You're making a sustainable living right now off of music and music production. How does that feel?
I gotta be grateful, man. I feel lucky. I even like driving around in this city, like it's so cool. Like I'll see the palm trees and I can't believe that I live in this place and doing what I'm doing, and just gotta keep working. I want more though, and it's not. I used to think of making money from music as a bad thing when I was younger, when I was first learning, because it's like rock and roll is not cool to be popular or whatever. You know what I mean?
Which is so ridiculous to think about.
And it's perspective, you could look at it like that, sure, but you could also look at money as a tool.
Yeah.
And you could look at it as something that can help you get better at your craft, better at reaching more people, buy cooler things, getting, like we were talking about, the cool flex. Like, what's a cool flex? Mm-hmm. A cool flex is taking all your friends out to a dinner, buying them everything, and just taking care of them, or taking them to Disneyland or Universal Studios, and that's a cool flex. Everybody's having a good time. You're making a moment. You're making a memory.
Yeah, we talked about that, and you're not even doing it as a flex. It's more it's more because you want to share this wealth, not necessarily the wealth, but like the positive things that have happened to you.
Yes.
Kind of share, give back to the people in your circle with a little bit of positivity, a little bit of a good time, and a taste of like things to come for everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really important. I think whenever you do start growing in your career as an artist, you got to have people in your circle who will cheer for you whenever things go good.
Yes.
And who are, there for you when things aren't great.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean that they will put up with negative and detrimental actions. They'll call you out on your bullshit. They'll call you out on, hey man, you've been really like lazy or recently, or like you haven't done anything.
What's going on?
Yeah. What's the matter? What's going on? And I think that whenever you have people who ask you those tough questions, those are the people who usually care.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's an accountability
Or-
thing.
Yeah, exactly. Or man, you know what? I don't think this is good for you. I don't mean to like push, step on any boundaries or whatever. But I think this is actually harming you.
It's being able to talk about those things too. The way you approach those situations, depending on the person, can be kind of sensitive. But like you said, it's having people in those circle that's around you that are happy whenever you succeed. Whenever my close friends, are doing great stuff, that makes me excited.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for them. You know what I mean?
Oh dude.
And you can have that mentality, or you can have the mentality of, oh, why isn't this happening to me? You know what I mean? Or why isn't this? And that's a downward spiral. That's a bad place mentally. That's
I've
not
seen
good
that
for
happen.
anyone.
I've seen
It's
it
not
happen.
good
I've
for you.
experienced
It's
it
not good for
personally.
your friends. Exactly.
It's a bad place to be, to say the least. How much time we got left?
We got about 8 minutes.
Awesome. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll talk a little bit more with William, and we'll wrap it up. We back. What do you listen to nowadays?
I listen to not a lot of music, honestly. I'm listening to a lot of what I'm working on.
Right. I could see that.
If I do listen to music, it's like one song by different artists, like one song by this guy, one song by this person, and it's like a mixture of things. Like this one guy called Sonny Cologne.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a couple cool songs. I listened to a Rob Zombie song the other day.
Yeah.
Thunder Kiss 65. That is a hard song.
Dude,
Ugh.
I like it. Did you hear his episode on the Joe Rogan
I
Experience?
did. That's why I went back and listened to some of his stuff.
That guy.
He's a cool guy.
When he talks about how they got record deals from this company, and this company, he's like, no, we're gonna wait till we get one from the big one, and they didn't have anything,
Yeah. Exactly.
and then they finally got one from that big company.
yeah.
I was like, and he was like, I think I was just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
he was. I think Joe was expecting some kind of tactical reason for it. He's like, no, just pure ignorance.
Yeah.
Pure ignorance. Sometimes that works out for the best for people when they don't know all the details about what they're getting into. Sometimes. I'll tell you this. I might have not moved to LA
Really.
and become an actor if I knew about all
What you had to go through.
what I had to go through. I might not. I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd like to think that I still would have, but
I do want to watch his movies, though. I haven't seen House of a Thousand Corpses.
yeah.
I haven't seen, his...
Let me know.
I know, you're not a fan, probably.
No, that gives
of
me too much
stuff.
anxiety.
Yeah. But that actor, I think he recently passed away, didn't he?
Sid Haig.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he liked him. He liked to use him for a lot of stuff. Creepy guy in his movies.
Yeah.
Just did that so well.
It's funny, man. I'd rather act in it than watch it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd rather act in a bunch of stuff than watch it.
Yeah, because you like all paranormal stuff, demonic. Like we like watching those types of horror movies.
Oh, I love those. Insidious and the Conjuring films are my favorite scary films.
Yeah.
I love dealing with spirits or that kind of stuff. But anything with like mass murderers and,
Makes it
like,
real.
Makes it like too real hostile.
Oh yeah, that's real.
Dude. First time I saw Hostel and that poor Asian chick with her eyeball out that was burned and that guy was manipulated, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Is this ISIS?
Yeah, this doesn't sound fun.
No! Hey, dude, I felt sick to my stomach watching it. I was like, dude, this is so messed up knowing that people actually do that. And I started thinking about like, this is my actor brain. I live so vicariously in the story and the thing that I
Yeah,
start thinking
right.
about like, that's someone's sister.
Yep.
That's someone's brother.
Yep.
How do their parents feel?
You make it
What do
realer than it is.
Oh, I make it so much more real.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what's it like whenever they have to go pick up their daughter or their son from the morgue and they have to see their mutilated body and identify it? What that plane ride from America to Amsterdam is like. And then like the little things along the way where the flight attendant's like, well, how are you guys doing today?
You make it so real. So real. It's too real. It's not real, man. It's a movie.
I know, but my actor brain jumps into that, and I'm like, I can't enjoy this. But when I think of like a spirit, like The Conjuring, you know, like a witch, you know, like a witch. I put a curse on this. I'm like, ooh, that's fun.
You're demonic.
I'm not demonic.
You're
Ghouls. Ghouls. Dude, I don't know. It's just too real.
What about you? What are you listening to?
Tool right now a lot.
Yeah.
What else is on my play? I don't know. Just go through it.
Yeah.
I like podcasts. I listen to a lot of I know it's not music related, but
Yeah, I listened to the Black Keys that they had on Joe Rogan. Patrick Carney's a funny dude. I didn't realize how wound up he gets.
who?
The drummer for the Black Keys.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
That was a long podcast. That was like 3.5 hours, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one. But yeah, hearing their story too as a band, because they're an old band, sort of.
They are?
They've been for 20 years now almost
Yeah.
playing music. And Brothers, that album that they released called Brothers, it was right before the Lonely Boy album, is one of my top 5 favorite albums. Oh, man, I love that album. So good.
I like Next Girl. That's my favorite song.
That's
and
on there.
so is Little Submarines.
That's on the next album.
The
Yeah,
next
that's
album.
a good one.
Those are my 2 favorite songs. That guitar solo on Little Submarines.
Yeah, it's a great one.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun.
They're both great. They're really great musicians. Really big influences
Yeah.
on me, for sure.
Good fight scene song.
You're so good at
I always
thinking
imagine
up fight scenes for stuff like that. You have a very directorial mind when it comes to music videos.
I really do.
Yeah.
Ever since a kid, I imagine whole stories, epic stories.
I think it's because we used to watch them so much. Like, that's when MTV was putting on music videos on on MTV instead of a bunch of reality shows. We would always watch them in the mornings. We would always watch yeah.
Yeah. You know what? This might be an idea.
Okay.
It's a theory I have. I always carried with me, as soon as it was available, the CD player on the bus with me.
Yeah.
I would listen to music on the
On
way
the
to
bus.
school
Yeah.
and on the way back. That morning time, I'm still asleep. Like, in my mind, like I'm not fully awake. So when I'm listening to this stuff, I think that creative portion of my mind, because by the way, when I'm just woken up, that first couple hours, I'm my most creative.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking like maybe like in my mind, I start imagining these things so vividly because my brain is emitting certain waves, which I learned about this recently. Whenever you're in a creative state, your brain actually is emitting certain waves.
Interesting.
Then when it's fully awake, then when it's dreaming,
Yeah.
then when it's meditative, and then when it's like problem solving. So I
Yeah.
might have been growing that creativity just by listening to music super early in the mornings.
You remember the yellow CD player?
Yes, the bass boost and shockproof.
That's the one I always carried.
Yes. Who could forget bass boost?
No, but I
Boost
think
the bass, baby. Who can forget bass boost?
I think that does have something to do with it because you're sitting there just listening to the music. You're gonna imagine things happening to the music that you're
Right.
listening to. So
Right.
yeah, that kind of develops that.
I think so, especially at very critical ages from what, 6th grade all the way up,
Yeah, mine was younger.
Monday through Friday.
Exactly.
Dude,
Yeah.
how stupid is school
Oh man.
growing up?
Spend
Seriously,
9 hours
like most
doing
of it.
what? Doing what? What are you doing?
You have a kid, and it's like, all right, great, it's 8 a.m. Time to learn history. Like who? What?
Some things are essential, I think, for sure. You know, like you have to be able to learn how to read and write and
Yeah.
you have to learn how to express yourself with words and communicate. Communication is a big one, for sure. But nobody taught me how to do taxes in school.
I
I had to
know.
learn that stuff on my own. Nobody
Yes.
taught me how rent works, how insurance works, how all the
I think that's on purpose, to be honest with you. Conspiracy theory.
That's another podcast.
Oh, that is a completely another podcast. We don't want to give it all away tonight. Wow, that was really creepy. I looked right into the camera when I said that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna zoom in.
Are you?
I'm gonna destroy that
yeah,
camera.
You can do that?
I can. It's gonna happen.
What about this?
We're gonna. I'm gonna do something great with that too.
Yeah.
Just you wait.
Man, William, this has been a lot of fun, man.
It's always fun. I really enjoy talking with you. Even our conversations off air are always so great. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Don't.
What? I love you.
Don't.
You never let me kiss you.
I wonder why.
I'm your brother. I want to kiss you on the cheek.
Exactly. That's why. You're my brother.
Yeah, I want to kiss you on the cheek.
I'm not I'm not a touchy person.
Can I kiss you on the cheek on air?
I don't like that.
Mom's listening to this.
You can pretend like you are.
Mom and Dad are listening.
Sure. But if I don't want to be touched, I don't want to be touched.
Sure.
Okay.
Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's brotherly love. Dude. You wiped it off!
Of course.
Dude, use that for the clip, by the way.
That's the clip?
Me of kissing him, because I want that on air, on the interwebs forever.
It's my show. I get to decide what happens.
Oh, Sonny? Forgot. Is that?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
We're always kind of
If people want to check.
being them.
If people want to check out your music, where can they go, William?
Follow me on Instagram at Keesh Music.
Cool.
I also have a website up, keeshmusic.com. I will have, by the time this airs, my Spotify profile and Apple Music profile is up. It's just under Keesh.
Keesh. Keesh.
Correct.
Awesome.
And I think there are a couple of others, but hopefully as we get the numbers up, that'll be the first one that pops up.
Wonderful.
So,
those numbers will be up for sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like the song, make sure you share it and you tell people about it, because that's how we all grow as actors, artists, musicians, lovers, friends, and brothers. That's the weirdest.
I'm going to go
Thing to
ahead
say
and cut you
after
off
that.
there.
That's how you should end the show.
Just-
every single time.
That
Instead of listen, think, talk, we are lovers, brothers, fathers,
Fathers.
mothers.
Wait, what? Dude, the show's good except the tagline at the end. What is he talking about? Michael, play us out. That was too early. I didn't finish it. You got too excited to get out of here, and that's fine, but it is what it is. Thank you, Adobe Radio, Nice Guy Digital, Michael, Peyton, Steph, everything you guys do. We appreciate you, the listener, so much. Thank you always for tuning in. Remember, if you have an Alexa, all you got to say is, hey, Alexa, play Adobe Radio. Boom. Adobe Radio is playing in your house, room, bathroom, wherever you put one. Always remember to listen, think, and then talk.